How are you?
Good. Talk about Agent Carter quickly.
Quickly. Fabulous lady.
She's a hell of a gal.
Right.
For the show in general.
I haven't had to pitch it like this yet. In the same way that Rosie the Riveter worked throughout, 22, 20, 42, 43, 44, building planes and ships and for the Army, and then was asked to go home. Was thank you for your service. Please go back doing what you were doing. The men are here now. We'll do the same thing with Peggy Carter and the industrial spy complex, right? So she has a certain set of skills that she learned during the war that she now, is being marginalized by. You want to keep going?
And she's not a woman who
takes
that lying down. So if you tell her not to go in the front door, she will go in the back door, kick your ass, and
walk out the front door.
After the one shot where the series take place.
That's a great
actually
question.
Will take place before the one shot.
Yeah, because we like that richness of not being respected by everybody else. So by the end of the one shot, she won. We like to live there a little longer. So the easy answer is it's sort of like, and we reserve the right to change this, but like this all happens, then the one shot, kind of.
You're going to bring back the characters that were in the one shot?
Not at the moment, no.
Do you know that Dum-Dum Dugan and Howard Stark are going to be involved at some point?
We know they're alive at the time.
Yes.
We know a lot of people are alive at the time.
That's right. They all have representatives and agents, so...
Is that time period a lot of fun to write?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's because historically it's a great period because everything's in such flux post-war, and like Steve said, so many people came out of the war with these new skills that are not family friendly. There was a lot of men, tons of men and quite a few women who came out of the war knowing how to be spies, how to kill, how to do all this stuff, that it wasn't immediately obvious how you used these skills now. And some people forgot about them, some people joined the OSS, some people became criminals, and it's just fun to play with that sort of thing. Plus, nobody has cell phones, so you can put people in suspenseful situations so much more easily.
You see sort of retro future tech?
Yeah, I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has hinted at old school. It's not steampunk exactly, but it's that kind of idea. So certainly we'll give her some gadgets, right? In fact, I would probably say that one of the characters is going to be Edwin Jarvis, who is the manservant of Howard Stark. And as a representative of Howard Stark, he probably has access to tech. Right.
The way that S.H.I.E.L.D. dips into the modern Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Is Agent Carter going to have the opportunity to dip into that era of the Marvel universe?
Will we get superheroes?
To a certain extent, I don't know if we're going to get the Wizard and all those other bizarre.
The Robot Human Torch.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Boy Commandos. I think we're more likely to dip into the real world of 1946 than we are. There's certain select people that are already in her world,
right?
And in the Captain America universe that we'd like to play with, but it's not going to be comic book cameo of the week.
Right.
Mainly because no one knows who the hell these people are.
The idea is that it's one story over 8 episodes.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Is it quite globetrotting like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Minimally, yes, possibly. It's early days, but there's certainly an idea to go at least to one other place.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, you got to move on.
Okay, cool. Thanks very much.
So to go from the short to go into an 8 episode series, right?
Correct, yes.
How exciting is that to have the opportunities it presents?
So much more to explore. We've seen Peggy in many forms. We've seen her competent, charming, strong, can hold her own with the men. But there's a lot that we haven't seen about her personal life and what it costs to be that way. So you're going to be seeing her not only go on these extraordinary missions and lots of action-based stuff, you'll also see who she is as a human being.
When we made the short, we had no idea it would turn into a television show, and that wasn't even our agenda. It was just to tell her, we knew we had a valuable asset with Haley Atwell playing Peggy Carter. Everyone from Cap to Winter Soldier to Armanzola, all were in the modern day from being frozen or experimentation. Even the Red Skull might be roaming the Earth. How do we tell a Peggy Carter story? So we said, let's go back. Let's go back to 1946. Let's pick it up approximately a year after Steve's demise, and see what Peggy Carter's doing. And having such a talented, committed actress like Haley, after we completed the short and showed it to the people at Disney, they also knew we had something very special and said, why don't we make it a television show? And that's why we're here again this year.
Being a year after Steve's disappearance, emotionally,
Yes.
the rawness of that has got to be something to play with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's never far from her thoughts, and he's very much part of what has formed who she is now. So I think that's something that she'll always take with her. So she's grieving. I think it's easier in the sense that I would always hope that Peggy had a fulfilling life, and know that she did, and she was able to have a family and able to live a very rich life before she dies. Just means that this is now a matter of filling in the gaps, and how exciting can we make her life is a great tribute to the woman that she ends up becoming.
Hayley, are you doing a lot of training at the moment?
I've just started. I've got 10 weeks of intense training.
The clock is ticking.
I know.
What kind of stuff?
It's mostly interval training, lots of running, strength training, and then my diet will be very controlled, just so that physically she looks right, but also that I can do as many of my own stunts as I can possible. That's very, very important for me. And also that I will have the stamina that it takes to do the actual filming, because it will be intense.
Do you need to learn any Russian given that it's heading into the Cold War?
Possibly. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
What are the challenges of this show? I mean, of Agent Carter and trying to...
I think it's a couple of things. In part, getting a network audience to embrace a period show, which I love, Tara loves, but it's a new thing on networks, at least, to have something taking place in the 40s, and making that still feel modern and relevant, which I think the one shot did really well. That it was of its time, and yet you didn't feel like you were watching an old movie. I also think you want to speak to both the die-hard Marvel fans and people who have never seen a single Marvel movie or read a single comic book. So I think the challenge is appealing to both of those groups, which I think we can do because it's an easy show. It's an easy buy-in. It's a female spy in the 40s. So even if you know nothing about Captain America, there's still a lot to kind of hook into when you're watching the show.
Any restrictions you guys put on yourself as far as characters you wanted to use or must use?
Right now we are looking at telling the best 8 episodes. It's an 8-episode arc. We have characters in mind that we want to use that we're going to pitch to Marvel. So far, we haven't been told no.
The only things we need to stay away from are like stories that they're already telling in some of the other Marvel properties. But so far, they've been very generous with, let's make the show as good as we can make it.
Also, we have a unique situation. Think of what the time period and what has most of it's happened afterwards. So the characters that are actually even open to us are limited in some ways, but it also gives us a lot of freedom.
Is there a challenge with that too, though? Because part of the Marvel universe is how connected it is, and you guys are sort of standing in a period where there's nothing else going on.
I think that it puts on us to make these characters really strong. I think that one of the things I noticed even when you're talking at the panel and you're talking with the fans, there is a real desire for a strong female character and someone that can stand on her own. And I think that Haley is we're very lucky to have her.
It's set post-World War II. Can you talk about some of the threats and sort of baddies, the type of sort of thing that might come up?
Well, certainly it's the beginning of the Cold War. So some of the baddies come from, the USSR. And I'm trying to think of what we can reveal without revealing too much. I think... What else can we say about it? I know, I have to be careful. There is an answer, but I'm trying to figure out how to reveal it. Let's just say that the baddies that we'd like to use, some of them actually do exist within the Marvel universe.
All right, guys, we need to move on.
All right,
Thank you so much, you guys.